Hi, Scrappy friends. Thanks for joining Scrap and Fun with Beth. My name is Beth Graves, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor and a Forever Ambassador. Today, we are going to embark on a new album adventure. I'm going to create a album kit. Yay! I'm so excited. I will be using the On the Bright Side album kit with the Green Jubilee album. And we're going to tackle this together and see how easy it really can be to get an album done. So I have been thinking about this project for a long time, actually since like January when the album kit came out. And I attended a training with my upline and like 100 of her team members. And Allison Dutton, Creative Memories CEO, was our guest speaker. And she had done this same album kit with pictures to a Disney trip. And it looked awesome. Well, I have a Universal Studios page or album I need to do. And so I thought I would try to follow her and do a theme park in the album kit and see what happens. Now, the album kits are designed for roughly 104 photos based on what comes in the kit, but you can always supplement with other things like peekaboo pockets, photo sleeves, regular paper from the collection, other things you might have that go with it and coordinate. So you can definitely get more than 104 photos in. So I will have more than 104. I have these two containers full. I haven't counted them to see how many it actually is. So I will be supplementing with the On the Bright Side paper and cardstock, along with, of course, the stuff in the contents of my kit. And then because it was Harry Potter at Universal, I have the, what is it, Enchanted or something. Let me see here. Enchanted Wizard. I have the Creative Memories Enchanted Wizard paper pack that I will also be using for those, as well as some of the photo sleeves and extra pieces and peekaboos so that I can get everything into this project. But for the most part, I'm going to try and follow the book, and I'm excited that you're here to join me as we embark on this. So, are you ready? All right, let's go to my desktop. Here is the album kit, and when you get an album kit, we currently have several options. We have Perfect Match, which is the wedding. We have On the Bright Side. We have Global Getaway for travel. We have Natural Beginnings, which is a beautiful natural neutral color palette that you could complement with lots of different things. FYI, that's my next project, and I'm going to be doing our trip to Niagara Falls in that one. And then we just released the School Years, and we have another one or two coming yet later this year. So when you get it, you will, I'm gonna have to turn it sideways so it fits in my camera here, but you get the album kit guidebook, and this is your step-by-step instruction. So if you are brand new to scrapbooking or to using Creative Memories, this guide is your instruction book. This is what walks you through putting the pages together and using them. There are also a lot of resources on Creative Memories website and the YouTube channel. And if you have not been watching the Album Kit Club, I think we're in week 5 of it. Annalisa, who is a home office person, has been doing an amazing job putting together her wedding album. She gives a ton of tips and tricks as she's completing the layouts and is putting together the simple page kits in her album kit, pretty much like it's shown. And then if she tweaks something, she explains very smoothly how she's doing it. So I highly recommend you look that up on YouTube if you have not seen it yet. Like I said, I think there's 5 weeks so far, and depending when you watch this, of course, it might be over. But anyway, back to our kit. So you get your album guide, you get a repositionable tape runner, you get a set of album embellishments, stickers, and then the next level is all your album pages along with your album, and you get to pick between 3 different covers, and they will come preloaded with top-loading sleeves. Now, I'm gonna confess, I am a traditional album girl. I love Spargo. I love my jeeping on both sides. And so even when I do wallpaper or use a full-size piece of paper, I intend to put it into my regular album page, adhere it, put my page protector on, stick it in. So this is honestly, other than a miscellaneous one or two pieces here and there, this is my first album to make fully with top-loading sleeves. So I'm kind of excited about it to see, maybe this will be a game changer for me. I have customers who love top loading. They love them and they won't go back to traditional. And then I have lots of traditional people using the regular jeeping pages. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be a mix and match girl, which I am on most other things. So makes sense. Okay, back to my desk. All right, so I'm going to set the album out of the way because I don't need it right at this moment. And I'm going to take the box out of the way here too. We're going to keep the components and the album guide book, and I have a repositionable tape runner that's already in use, so I'm not going to use that one right at the moment, but I will keep it for my reserve. And also in Annalisa's videos, she was keeping track of how many tape refills she goes through as she's creating, so that's kind of fun too. You can tell, I love them. I have picked up several tips for how to do my project. So what you're going to find, if you've never used one of our album kits, is that everything is coordinated for you. Your stickers all have a number. And so you can see 15, 9, 13. That means they are designed 8, 11, T/E, title, end page, and so on. They all are marked in that way. Likewise, your embellishments are marked. And if you've ever done Creative Memories card kits, you will be familiar with the marking where they tell us that the pieces go to card 1, card 2, card 3. So same with our album kit. This is for layout 1. This is for layout 8. 10. And what Creative Memories has done so that you don't get too overwhelmed is our first packet here is for layouts, the title and end page, which becomes like one layout, layout 1, 2, and 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe. Yep, 8. And then 9 through 12, and then I think 13 through 16. So you can just pull them out as you need them. And if you follow the guide exactly, that's what those numbers are. However, you have the flexibility, whether you're a beginner or an experienced or seasoned scrapper, to change things. So if you don't want this sticker for layout 3 on the layout, you'd rather use it, let's say we want to use it on 7, you have the freedom to change that. You do not have to follow what's in here, but it makes it a lot easier and it's going to go a lot quicker. So if your goal is to get an album done quickly, I highly recommend following it with just a few tweaks here and there. Like I said, we're going to learn together. That's my recommendation, but I haven't actually done one, so we'll see. Also, your pages are marked very similarly. So when you pull out your album pages, which are the simple page kits, they are marked as well. So layout 1, left base. This is going to be layout 2, or layout 1, right base. And then when I go to layout 1, I can see, aha, this is what matches. This is it. Here we go. And then this is going to say layout 1, cut apart. So then as our simple page kit comes into play, I'm going to follow the lines, cutting things, and then these numbers correspond to where they're going to be placed on the layout. And as I said, depending on your photos, you may change orientations, you may turn things. You have the freedom to do that depending on your pictures. So one of the things that I struggled with as I was getting ready to work on this, like I said, I've been thinking about for a long time, is would I just put together the whole kit to get at one point, like sit down and put it all together, all 16 simple page kits, Or would I do it page like layout by layout so that I could put my photos on it as I'm going? And in watching Annalisa's album kit club, I decided to do layout by layout, put a photo on, layout, photos on. And that's how she's been attacking it. And I think it's worked really well. I did encourage a client earlier this year who had gotten the travel getaway or global getaway. I'm like, blank. The global getaway. I encouraged her to put it all together first and then add her photos. And because we were at a crop together and scrapbooking, I got to see some of her struggles as she did that. Now, the album kit was a completely foreign concept to her. It is very different than how she traditionally scrapbooks her pages. So that was one obstacle. It just was a little bit to get her mind around it. The second was that some of the embellishments in the kit didn't necessarily go with her photos. So while she was using the travel stuff, like there was, I can't remember, maybe a car or plane and she had driven or flown like the opposite of. So in the, where it said, hey, put this embellishment here, it didn't fit because that wasn't the way they traveled. But since then, Creative Memories has come out with the add-on kits that coordinate in the different themes and have different theme components. So on the bright side has a wedding embellishment pack. So now I can use, on the bright side, and I can substitute the wedding embellishments for these embellishments when they don't fit. But you'll find that a lot of things fit in a lot of situations. So that's cool. But anyway, so that was one struggle that she had, was that not everything fit what her photos were. And then the second was the orientation, because she had done everything according to the guide, which is what I encouraged her to do. Sometimes her pictures were horizontal, but in the layout they were vertical. And had we done it layout by layout and knew what her pictures would be, it may have been a little bit easier. In the end, she finished the whole thing in less time than the crop we were at. So we were there Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday. I want to say she was done, I can't remember. I know it took her all of Friday and probably some of Saturday. But she got everything journaled, all her photos, and all the pages loaded, like it was done. So that was super exciting, and she was very happy with that. So, okay, I'm rambling, but I just have so much information. All right, we'll go back here. So as I was saying, everything is labeled, and we're just going to start following it and see how we come out. Now, I will record all of it, but I may not be saying something, and so during those components, you will find that I will speed up the recording, and then I'll slow it down if I'm going to share something with you. Otherwise, you'll just kind of see me working and what I'm doing, and as I'm swapping things in. I do have a couple pages pre-done because I had done them for other classes, but used them to go in this book. So I will insert those in where they belong and then keep going. So you will also in your book have a title and end page, and those seem to be at the back here. Layout 16. I think when you open your packet, they'll be on the top. But because I've shown this kit numerous times, everything's kind of messed up. But so you have your title base paper, your end base paper, and then your cut apart for the base, or for the title and end. And so this is like your opening page in your album. And then because we end on a left-hand side, this is the end for the album, unless we extend and go beyond. But so those are designed to be done together, and then we split them apart when we put them into the album. So that's actually where we'll end up starting. Okay, so shall we get started? Woohoo! I just need to clear off some space here. All you need to complete this, the album kit, is truly your tape runner, your repo, the album kit components, the guidebook, your photos, which I have right here, and either scissors So you can cut all of these using your scissors. We do see that the punch comes in handy on this one, but you also don't have to punch it because it can be a tag without a punch. It just becomes a square. You could leave it like that, or you could still cut the tags. So we have different options there. Of course, if you have the 12-inch trimmer, life will be easier to cut those straight lines. And then the photo trimmer is handy with the photos and cutting down. So technically you don't need anything besides the album kit and a pair of scissors, but these two tools will make things much easier, simplify things. And then if you have punches or other fun things that you want to add in, of course you can do that. So to get started, we are going to take the title and end pages. Now, I don't know what's going to go on my end, but I do have an idea of what can go at the beginning on my, so I'm going to, you guys aren't going to be able to see this, but just know that it's off to the side here. There, you can see it in the corner. And I do have a few pictures from when we first got there. As I said, this is a Universal Studios outing. Some of these I think can easily go get incorporated into the rest of the book. Some of them aren't really that important, but some of these will be what will go on this first page. So let's pull this stuff out because I don't need it right at the moment. And I'm going to open this first pack. And in Annalisa's videos, she actually recommended opening the pack you need to be on, so that first one, and then just kind of separating them out so that they're into their pages. So I've got 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. So this is a good quiz for you guys, that you can remember your alphabet. 3 and 2. And then I have already made an error as I explained stuff to you, because I believe you noticed I had 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, but I didn't have the title and end, which is what's first. So the title and end actually are in the last pack. So I'm gonna open the last pack and just pull out the T and E and put the rest back. So, so that I don't get too confused. 15, 15, 14, 14, 14. There we go. See, title, and title, and then these go in here, because I think they're counting title and end as layout. In the book it's layout, it's at the beginning, but it's counted as the layout 16, I think. So all right, so those are back out of the way, but we have the title and end that we need to be able to put on our paper, on our layout as we create. So my base pages, and I have the option of changing which one goes at the front and which one goes at the back, but like I said, I'm going to try and stick with what Creative Memories recommends in the title and album kit, or I'm sorry, in the album kit, just so I can have a good reference point when I share with clients how this works and how easy and simple it was. And I also want to jot down the time, so I can pay attention to how much time I have spent working on this, so that I can give an accurate representation. So for me, it is 1:00 p.m. Central Time, and I'm not counting the 20 minutes you and I have spent chit-chatting, because I was just kind of explaining the album kit to you in that. So, okay, here we go. So when you're cutting on your simple page cut apart, you always want to follow the straight lines that go all the way across. For instance, I wouldn't want to start here, because then I have to stop halfway up the page. Now, if I were doing scissors, absolutely that's easy to do and you can make that stop. But when you're using a rotary trimmer, it can be hard to stop that motion right where you need it. So it's always best to start with the full cuts. So I am lining this up. Remember, you can also move your guide in. The guide rails come out from both ends, and I am actually off a little. So there we go. And then the white guide on my blade here also will show. So now I can make my straight cut. Ta-da! Now I can turn and do the full cut. I can turn and do this cut. So you just kind of rotate the paper as needed, make the cuts. And this paper is all the same, so I didn't have any excess there. This one's pretty good. And now I've got two other options, a few more cuts here. Now this cut, I'm going to be on two different patterns of paper. So if I'm off a little, not a problem. We can fix that. So I did pretty darn good on that. And then we have these two. Now for 5 and 6, right now, I am just going to leave them as the rectangles, but the instructions show me to cut the tags and punch the hole. But until I see what my pictures are, I'm going to hold off on that because I can always cut it later. But if I cut it now, I can't get it back. So that is our first step. And then, and I'm using the mat I'm using is our, it was one of the free gifts, the You Pick It promo. And so it's a double mat with markings beyond 12 so that I can see all my measurements if I want to center things. If you happen to have the new studio layout, that comes in blue. Actually, the blue sold out. So if you were lucky enough to order the blue early, you might have the blue. Otherwise, the gray is still available. The gray is beautiful. But that also comes with a magnetic ruler and magnets that you can use to line things up as well. You can use regular rulers, which is what I'm going to do, or just on my mat here. Annalisa does show using the studio layout, and it's really cool. So again, I'm going to recommend you go watch at least a couple of those of YouTube videos on the album kit, because you might pick up other tips that I'm not sharing. So now what we're going to do is take the album guide, and I'm just going to kind of lay things out the way it shows. So it shows that number 1 goes right in here, and number 5 is one of these, fits right in here. And then I have 2 vertical, 1 horizontal, and then another tag, which would end up going like this. And then I have my pieces. So this becomes a fun, kind of coordinates with the rainbow stripe there. And then we're doing some embellishing and layering with the look kind of like this. Now, and then the end ones end up going down on the corner. And I'm not going to worry too much about this end page till I get to it. But what do I have here that could be part of my first page? And this is showing 2 horizontal photos. So I do like this one because it shows where we're at, universal. I like that one, and it kind of shows, but it's hard to read and see. I still have the palm trees here, so I kind of think I'm going to remove that one. I don't know if it really matters if we know where we park, but I will hold on to this one because it might end up being a great back page if I need to fill in somewhere. So that will go in a separate pile. When I'm scrapbooking, I turn things upside down when I'm not going to use them, which makes it nice. I could put, okay, so now I've got pictures of us going in, and I think this one I can add into some other layouts I have elsewhere. This one's outside the gates. This shows universal, but that could also be added. Gosh, this is hard, you guys. Like I said, I've been thinking about this forever, but I haven't been thinking about it specifically. So honestly, I think I'm going to rotate this because I have vertical. So then I can do something like this. I can cut this guy down, and I think I can get this one. So those two, and then this might end up going here. And I think I'll hold on to that for later. All right, so let me do some cropping so that I can see if I can make these fit. And they become 3.5 inches to fit across. So this one I can't really shorten into 3.5. And what does it say? 3.5 by 5.5. So I can do that. Well, not quite. It's going to be a little bit taller than 5.5. But I can knock this one down more. So I'm going to do, I can get these other people out so that I can make both fit. Aha. And then I ended up doing this at 3.25. So I'm going to make this guy be 3.25. So that it can fit up here. And that actually says everything we need it to. So I think I can move this one over there. I'm going to cut this guy down a little bit. It's not enough yet. So if these become there, I need like 1 3/4. That means I'm going to have to take a little more off this. Ta-da! Made it work. Woohoo! Get those out of the way. Okay. So otherwise, I believe that I can make this work out for the most part like the layout shows. And I might end up putting, well, if I do the tag on this, and I like the tag here, or this stuff here, and so I might do this, I think, what I'm going to do. But I'm not sure that this title is the best title for my page, so I'm going to hold off on that part. And actually I think I like that better on that side. So my triangle just kind of is becoming a straight line kind of this way. But remember, I don't have anything on the right side because this is my first page. I also would have room that if I wanted, I could use, the ABC embellishments. I have all of the colors, and I could just put universal across here. I can put the date and stuff here. So when I scrapbook, especially when it is a theme like this and it all goes together, I tend to go back and finish enhancing and journaling all at one time so that I can keep the continuity of the story through. That may not be how you scrapbook, and that is totally fine. If this was its own like, hey, we ate lunch today, and then the next layout is we went to the library, and the next layout is a baseball game. I would scrap, or I would journal and finish those pages because they each have their own story. But because this is a full day of something we did all day, like I said, I tend to come back and do that. So you won't see me completely finish the page, but I will get it down. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start by putting these on. And with this grid paper, it's nice because I can kind of line it up. And then I know where I was with this. Kind of get it centered in there. And remember, the nice thing with repositionable is that if you're off, you can go back and move it around. Oh, I thought I put that on upside down, but it would have been okay because I could have gone back and moved it around. Off just a little. And I don't know if it's because my paper isn't straight or my photos or just as my vision. Who knows, right? Could be any of those things. So I think I'd rather have it line up at the top and be off a little at the bottom. So I'm going to make those line up there. And then I'm going to bring this one up a little bit. You can also use your multi-purpose tool to pull that up, but with repositionable, doesn't stick super tight. So there we go. And then I'm going to center it on my page. Since we deviated a little bit from the, so 2 and 10 is kind of where I'm aiming to be here, to put it kind of in the center. Oh, jeepers. There we go. Stick it down. And then, like I said, I did like this. I might actually end up going this way because I have some dead space there, so I think that will work better. And then once I determine what that title is, then I might come back and put that in. But we're going to do this. And I might find a better one in amongst the kit when we get really going on this. So we'll decide. So for now, I'm not going to use that one, but I'm going to keep it there just in case. And I'm just going to do a small amount on this one until I decide what I'm going to do. But I could also put universal down here, which might look real nice. And then the date and stuff here. So I didn't really have any memorabilia. We didn't get a ticket. It was all virtual. I could put the year. So anyway, ta-da! Page 1 is done, or title is done. And as I mentioned, I am not going to do this yet because I have no idea what the end is going to look like. So this will actually go back into the pile of pages. And then I have, so this is my first. And now I need to look and see what I have for pictures before I go into the Harry Potter land, which is what I have already completed. So I do have a variety of pictures here. We stopped and got something to eat. And so looking at layout 1, could I just put these in? And I think yes, I could. So we are going to move this. I'm just going to set it back in my box so it's out of the way. And have my photos. that are coming next. And then, oh, you know what? I totally forgot the border sticker that goes on title and end page. So let me see. Where did it go? It went along here. So I'm going to put it down. And I'm going to line up my paper so it's square on some lines. And it goes just under the purple. So I'm going to put it, I think, right here. Plus that gives me something to follow. There we go. That's a nice touch. And then that can go there. And I also like it because I could still fit some letters and I could put a date down here. So I might do universal and then the year. Find some kind of fun thing that goes up there, and then I can write a little here. Still not sure if I'm going to make it a tag or not, but we'll come back to that. Looks like my sticker comes off just a little. So I am just going to take my scissors and clip along the edge. Get the sticky off my scissors. Okay. So I need to keep the stickers in front. All right. Now, and then the other one goes, I'll go ahead and do that just because we know that I tend to forget. So same thing, I'm going to line it up and I'm going to do it sideways because it's going to go vertically along this, but I do better when things are closer to me. And I'm going to kind of center it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I actually had it closer to this end. So I think I'm going to do just above the 2.5 line. There we go. Very nice. I like that. All right. Now we're back in business. So now we need layout 1 and the cut apart. So I'm just pulling that out of my pile here. And you'll see that these numbers are 11 and 8, so they aren't the ones we need. And the reason is they're all over is they were trying to maximize the space and get it get as much to fit on the layouts or on the sticker sheets. So here's one. And layout left, layout 1 left, layout 2 or layout 1 right. And just remember that it's always in the lower right corner. And so if you're wondering, well, how do you know it goes like doesn't go like this or doesn't go like this? Well, if I look at where the typeset is and flip it, that's the way it's probably designed to be laid out. And then of course you look in your guide and double check, and they do have it with the green up here and the green down here. But could I change this? Absolutely. If I wanted to do something like this, I could do that. Like, you can decide. So if you want to rotate stuff, you absolutely can. And again, it might depend on what your photos are to decide if that is something you really want to do or not. So I'm going to talk through this one as well. And then after that, I probably will just start working, and I'll slow things down when I have something else I want to tell you about. Okay? So our cut apart, you need your scissors or your 12-inch trimmer, And when I am cutting full sheets and I have to do small strips, I like to do them first because it's easier to cut when you have a larger piece of paper to work with. And I will rotate it so that the larger part of, don't mind my kitty, she's just making her presence known. You have a larger piece of your paper on the base of the trimmer. And if I were having to measure things, I could always pull out the arm on my trimmer to line things up and measure, but I'm just following a line on this one. So just need to line up my line and cut. And then the second line. And you'll also note that these are pieces number 1 and 2, which is also another indicator to cut those first. And hopefully I am not off perfect. And I am off a little here. I have a little bit more of this showing. So I am going to take a smidge off now while I have a larger piece of paper to work with and can get it to fit. And I didn't take off enough. But remember, it's always easier to take littler segments than to try and come back, right? So, oh my goodness, I'm gonna do it from this side so I can see what I am doing. There we go. Now I got it. Okay. Now we can cut on this line because again we're going for that longest straight line, whereas these we have to stop. These we have to stop. Line it up. Perfect. It's all yellow, so I don't have to worry about that. And I've got some photo mats. And if you want, you could always cut this way because you know that's where that line is. I'll go ahead and do this one. And I'll do this one. And the more you use your trimmer, the more you learn where your cut is and how it's going to work. So I've got a little bit of orange showing, so I'm just going to trim that off. Not a big deal. And if it was on my page, it really doesn't matter because it would blend in, right? We've got lots of colors happening in this bright side, so it would be okay. All right, so now we position things. So we've got one coming up here on top of the green, one over here under the green. Pull in some black and white there. That's fun. We've got our stickers, which are going to layer. Oh, they're going to layer on that seam once we get that stuck down. And then we've got some mats. So let's go ahead and get the black and white piece down. On a long strip like this, I would do something in each of the 4 corners. And then I just kind of randomly go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, just through the piece there. And then line this up right under the green and also along that line. Sorry, my kitties are making noise. And then we're going to put one of these pieces with the torn edge is going to be on the top. And so you can decide how much you want to cover of each. So I'm going to go a little bit higher on the green. So I did 10 10 1/4. So on this side I need to end at 2 1/4. So that I'm straight. And I got just a hair hanging over here. So trim that down. Oh, doesn't it look cool? I really like that. It doesn't look straight, does it? So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to pull it back up because stickers are, I just don't want to tear anything. But I don't think I was straight here. I should have done this measurement, not the top measurement. See, these things are real. Even so, beginners, this stuff happens to even us seasoned people. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to fix that. So, okay. Now I'm going to turn this one again so it's closer to me. A little bit in each corner. And then up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right on the green border. And then on the seam, and I'm going to go by the bottom, so it's at 1 1/2. Line this up straight. So this end should end at 10 1/2. Or, yeah, 10 1/2. Oh, that's much better. So, yeah, that looks much better. And looks pretty good there. So that goes at the top. All right, so we got our sticker down. We've got our piece on. So now we're ready to show the mats. And they are laid out with 2 horizontal, 2 vertical, 1 4x4. We've got a little piece there, and layout 1 has a note journal. That's a cute little journal box. More please. That actually would be good on a ride page later. We've got oh, and then it's got this little washi tape kind of behind there. We've got this with a photo on it here. Okay, so my pictures I had shown. I might be able to get that down to 4x4. Nope. Well, close. I can get that to a 4x4. This is kind of like Bart Simpson world, I think. I can get this here, and I can get this here, and then I can do a peekaboo with our food. And I'll just save that one for later because it's just really not fitting. And I'm going to save this one for another page because I know that's going to be great for something like with a ride or something we did that was fun, like, yes, more. All right, so the pictures are 3.5 by 5.5. You can also cut them just down by 1/4 because the mats are all 4x6. So if you start with just 1/4, 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, you can decide if you like the smaller amount showing or the larger. And this is going to be 3.5 by 3.5, or 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So if I'm just doing a 1/4 inch, I just have a little bit of white showing through. And put that over here. This one will be a little different because I have the prints to be what's the word I want? The true fit, if you will. So they cut, you get a little bit of that white off. So they end up being like 5 1/4. So I've got a little bit of space here, but that's okay because we have lots of things I could put there. So again, that will be during my journaling and embellishing phase. And then I actually think this little piece is super cute to be a journal box, and I like throwing the little washi on it, or layering maybe these 2 washies. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with the embellishments a little bit more. Now, to be able to do this as a peekaboo pocket, I'm gonna trim off some of this. And a little bit down the side. And then I'm going to end up needing to put a peekaboo, or a piece of cardstock or something in. The peekaboo. And then I will need some clever journaling about it. And so I have my peekaboos right here. So I can pull that out, and I think this one would work just fine opening upright. So I can, when it opens upright, so I just need to decide what's going to be the first food. So when they open upright, remember this one was going to be upside down. So you just kind of do something like that. And when I am doing this, remember that where your white strip is will fold down. That's what's going to attach to the page protector. So your sticky is here where the white is. That's where you'll peel. But your photos go inside so that when this is down, they're not going to slip out. And you can see that because I trimmed these photos down, they don't fill the space fully. So I'm going to need a piece of cardstock that coordinates with this. And fortunately, because I am using the coordinating cardstock, or the coordinating paper pack, I have on the bright side here, I know the colors that are designed to go with it. So I would be able to pick any of those to make my box to enhance behind these two. So I will do that again at that kind of ending stage. So let's go ahead. Oh, I still got 2 more I gotta trim down, don't I? All right. So now these are gonna end up being 3 1/4, or 3 3/4, I'm sorry, up widthwise, because they're gonna fit here on that. And then because I'm trying to fit 2 in the same space, I'm gonna have to trim down, but it's gonna work just great. So excited. Let's see, take as much off this one as I can. I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna take some off of that. So, ooh, I gotta take a lot more off. So I'm gonna shorten this guy. Okay, and then I've got roughly 2 more inches. Perfect. That's fun. I do that a lot. Fit two things into one space. It helps. So you can just go ahead and stick, because then you can get more pictures in. And even in a peekaboo, if I really needed more space, I could certainly cut these down. I could actually probably cut these down to 4x4s and do a 4x4 peekaboo and have more space to journal. But I really don't need the space to journal here because I have this, so I just don't think I'm going to need. And really, what do you say? Hey, we arrived here. Here's the Bart Simpson world, which is totally not one of my favorite things, but it is iconic, and we all know what Bart Simpson's world is. Or I guess the Simpsons, and Krusty and the police chief and all those. So it was fun to see it. Blah, blah, blah. But I don't know that I'm going to have a lot to say about it when I journaled this. So, and this layout can go pretty much according to the guide, because my pictures work out pretty good. But I easily could have veered things and turned it. And I actually have this coming up here and this here with a little more space between them. But you can decide. I kind of like that. And there's plenty of room down here. So I'm going to line it up like this. And I'm leaning towards wanting to put this one in. And I don't know what I'll do. I may not use that one. I might just use these. Again, that'll be my decision at a later time, but I think the photos can be placed exactly, can go ahead and be placed on here. And then just be aware of direction. I noticed I have this number 7 upside down, so if I was worried, I could have it the right way. But the paper is kind of a non-directional paper, so it doesn't really matter. And then we will put this down. Again, kind of wherever you want. I can definitely go by the guidebook, but I'm just kind of spacing it, and that is where that seasoned scrapper comes in. But if we were, and I'm going to use a little bit of repositionable on this one because I'm not positive that's what I'm going to do, but I'm leaning towards it. And then we're going to put, I think I'm going to put him down towards the bottom so that I can put a title or something fun up here, not next to the words down here. And then I will be able to also put this one on. And I'll shift that a little, because I could always also layer this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down. And they're kind of centered in. And you line up how it works for you. Some people, I have clients who would have to measure that. I am very much an eyeballer. I'll have to add that. And then, like I said, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with these guys yet. So I'm just going to set them off with my more please, and we'll come back to that. So if you look at the guidebook, that's kind of what we've got here. So, so we started working on this at 1 o'clock, and it's now 1:45. So I have done the title page and well, I didn't do the end page, and layout 1. And you might think, Beth, that's not very much for 45 minutes. But keep in mind that I am talking you through my process. And when we start something, it always picks up as you go. So the longer you work on it, the quicker it's going to go. And you know, I remembered, oh, forgot about the stickers the first time. So we had to kind of go back. So I think we're doing great. So I'm super excited. So layouts, the title page and layout 1 is done. So I'm going to start on the next section. And again, I'm just going to work, and I will stop and let you know. And like in the video, then I will speed it up too. So thank you for joining Scrap and Fun with Beth. I'm so glad you're here on this album adventure and completing the album kit on the bright side. And I'm so excited to get this project done. So stay tuned. We're going to keep working, and we're going to see how much we can get done. But I'm so glad you're here. If you have any questions, please reach out to your Creative Memories advisor. And if you don't have one, I would be more than happy to help you with things. We have a lot of fun with Scrap and Fun with Beth. Okay, on with layout 2. You could leave these straight if you want. They kind of are layering over this if you just want to leave that straight. I think the banner is kind of fun. Just adds a little oomph to it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim mine out. These two I don't need to trim down because they're going to be in my peekaboo, but I'll trim this one down so that it fits on the mat. Like so. And I will probably have this one open to the side. So we'll pull this out. And when it opens to the side, they don't need to be upside down. They can be normal. So again, it's going to go something like that. So I will just turn these. And it'll be something like that. Ta-da! Now, I don't mind this. So this may end up sticking on this page, but again, until I go back and totally journal and figure out titles and things like that, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to kind of hold those in place with this, and then we'll come back through. But there we go. That was actually just over 15 minutes. Now, I had spent a few minutes prior to getting on camera figuring out my pictures, but like this is how it should work. It should go pretty quick. And as you do more and more, we'll see things going quicker. So we're ready for the next layout. So I'm going to cut this down to 4x4. So now I have another piece that I can use. So I can bring this up and I can put these guys here and that one. So I need to trim a little bit off so that it mats them there. And then these are my peekaboos. I'll find that. And now I have this. Like I said, you can have them be offset a little bit, something like this. You can also cut this in half so that you bring it out. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And then it looks like a frame, even though it's not. So it will go like this and this. Ta-da! Isn't that fun? Now with the 4x4s, you can open any direction. You know, you can go this way, we can go this way, we can go all those. I will probably have it go up. So, like that. So it really is amazing how this can work out, and you take the guesswork out just using the same color theme, the color palette of the collection, and it just really, like I said, it is amazing how it doesn't matter what your pictures are. Now, do I like to match my palette to my photos? Absolutely. But for this particular exercise, I am loving that I am getting this book done quickly, and I think it looks great. This, on the bright side, is a lot of fun and cheerful, which makes you think amusement park, right? So I think it's really cool. Now, maybe I should match. I should probably get this in similar proximity to that one up there, so looks like it's at like 1/2 inch. There we go. And then this will be able to sit on my slip-in sleeves, and it'll end up flipping up. And then this guy, I think I'm just going to line up down here. And like I said, not sure yet. I need to figure out what I'm going to journal and that kind of thing. So we're going to wait on that one. But ta-da! Layout 3. All right, ta-da, layout 4. Layout 5. All right, here we are with the next segment. So we are getting ready to start layout number 6. So this is super fun. I don't know if you've been noticing how nicely the pictures are correlating and going in, and I can make it fit. It's astonishing how many photos we can cut down to a 4x4 or even into some of those narrower spots to fill in. And I know you're noticing I'm not putting a ton of embellishments on. I think some of them are definitely going to work for the layouts, but I will do that when I go back through at the end to do my journaling and adding things in. So I have sorted them and I'm kind of keeping up with. I'm attaching most of the stickers. The one layout for, I believe it had a green plaid. It just wasn't working for me for that layout, so I decided not to stick them on. I could always do it at the end when I come back through, but I think for now this is working. So we are going to jump in and keep working, and we are now on layout 6. Woohoo! just a couple other ones that fit here. So we'll see. And so that is layout 6. Okay, so with this layout, I changed it quite a bit. As you can see, it was on the color was on the sides. It is the same layout as the beginner class, and I have used that already in my kit. And so I wanted to make it look a little bit different. So I rotated it and kind of swapped things around, and it fit my pictures better. And then these are the one changed a little bit, but this is layout number 7. And we're ready for the next one. Actually, maybe I'll do layout 10. So everybody, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit just because I don't necessarily need I'm not gonna need all 16 layouts. The other layouts I have done, I incorporated slip-in sleeves, which you'll see when I put the album all together. So I'm gonna skip layout 8 and layout 9. I'm gonna go to layout 10 because these pictures have a lot of blue in them, and I just think that will look really good there. And then I think 11 and 12 will look really good with the water world, which are kind of brownish. And then I'll see where I'm at from there. So right now, you get the gist of how these come together and how everything is assembled. And again, this is the beauty of these books, is that you can rearrange them, you can skip them, you can go around, do other things, and make it work for your photos. So pull this out here, although this is really pretty paper. So this is layout 10. So this one is layout 12, and okay, so there's that layout 15. And I know that Okay, Scrappy friends, we are ready for the exciting conclusion to the album adventure, making the album kit on the bright side. Thanks for joining ScrapNFun with Beth. I hope that you have enjoyed embarking on this adventure with me. I had a lot of fun. So, what did we do? Well, we worked on the album kit on the bright side, following the guidebook with a few variations, a few changes. As it turned out, we started this about 1 o'clock. It's now 7:15. So in less than 6 hours, because I also took a dinner break and another short break and talked you through a lot of this. So in less than 6 hours, I completed all of this. And we're going to take a closer look here in a second. But I don't know when I have been that productive in a long time. Now, I admit I am not done. I do not have my journaling done. I don't have my embellishments on. But I feel really good. This is really exciting. So, let's take a look at what I have left and what the next plan is and kind of how it turned out. So, all right. So, in the album kit, we got 16 simple page kits. So we were able to make 32 pages. I have 2 pages left, or 2 double pages. So I have the layout number 7, or I'm sorry, layout 8. And I also have layout 14. Now, I used a simple page kit from a beginner class that coordinates with this kit in here. I completed that today, which essentially took the place of one of these kits. And in fact, that kit is in here, and so you'll see 2 layouts very similar. And then I did use some photo sleeves to do some larger projects within this book. And so I would still have 1 kit left. And then I do have my embellishments. I put all my embellishments in here just to make it easier for me to get through and go through. But I do plan to add these to some of the pages because some of these are going to fit perfectly. There's magic to be found. That's going to be great on one of these rides. Smile, these flowers and hearts, and journal places, just embellishment enhancements. So these are going to go on when I go back through. So we will do that. Not together. I'll do that on my own. But here's how things kind of ended up. So here's my title page, and as I mentioned at the beginning, I will probably put like Universal or California or the date or something along with journaling that we went. And then I will open to my first left and right page. Let me get these in frame for you. Sorta, a little bit better anyway. There we go. This will have a peekaboo on it. We've got some journaling, lots of places to enhance. And then I'm going to go to my next one. Now, this is using the Enchanted Wizard for the Harry Potter land. I don't think that's what it's really called, but and I did have this layout completed. So this is not part of the 6 hours that I mentioned at the beginning, or just a few seconds ago. But these are the different photos from that. And I have a place to journal here. I may end up moving that to this side and changing one of the pictures. I'm not sure yet. And then I can enhance with my embellishments from that pack as well. And then the next, left and right. And you will notice that the photo sleeves, so I used here the 4 pocket. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I use the 6 pocket, and they have kind of a nesting or cascading look as they lay on the page. So when I get my base into a photo sleeve or a top loader, they're going to have that nested look. And then the staples of these sleeves line right up with the staples of the top loading sleeves. So it's going to be a seamless transition into this looking in my book. Pretty cool. And then here's the next one. This was from the Simple Page Kit beginner class, And I did do this today, although I didn't do it on camera because I knew I had to figure out all these things. But that's still within that 6 hours. So even though this wasn't videoed for you, it was still part of this time frame. So like I said, this is a lot, and I hope you are excited about the possibilities of an album kit and what we can do with them. This was on the tour, the studio tour. So again, I used the sleeves, but this time I used the 3 pocket, the 4 pocket, the 6 pocket, and the original 5 pocket, which again creates that nesting and cascading look so that they kind of all blend together, and you'll be able to flip right through them as you go through the album once I put it all in an album. And then there's the end of that section. All right, what else did I do? Okay, so we got another peekaboo coming. I don't know that I changed much of anything with some of these layouts. This one I might have tweaked a little bit. Did I change? Oh, here. This is why it looks so funny to me, because they were on the wrong side. So it goes like that. That looks better. Plenty of room to journal here, and then can still add some more embellishments. All right, now this layout I also had completed. This was part of a class I taught previously, and I used the cascade spacers to show how to create a series of peekaboo pockets. So this one's already in my top loading sleeve, and I'll be able to add this next page, you know, right in there once I'm done journaling. But the cascading peekaboos allow you to space them, and using the cascade spacers, it's quick and easy, and it just goes so fast. So it's really fun. It was a great way to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pictures in this space. And again, as we talked earlier, it's amazing how many photos can be trimmed down to a 4x4 size so that they can fit into a peekaboo pocket or into a smaller space. So this, again, also had this done, but that's more photos that were added to my pages. All right, so then we have another from the Simple Page Kit, and I had a couple peekaboos that were gonna go. And I may change this because right now I have them opening in opposite. I may make them go the same direction, so we'll see when I get to that. And I know I have a really cute minion die cut that I bought previously that I think I'm going to put right here. So, then the next one, for the most part, I did keep them in the order. I just skipped around a couple times while we were creating. And have a place here to journal. I could also add white if I'm so inclined. Plenty of places to embellish, but this is a really cool album kit. I love this collection. The On the Bright Side colors are a lot of fun. This is gonna go here and flap up. And oh, I need to add some cardstock that coordinates in here. Maybe I'll pull the plum in, or the orchard, to make those fit within that. And then I've got a place to journal here if I decide. This is also a great place, as is this, because it's lighter colored. So have that. I think one of these I might have swapped the right and left around. So here is the same kit that was part of the beginner class. You can see this one I rotated because I didn't want to look exactly the same. But I've got plenty of room here. Again, this is lighter, so easy to journal on, or I can use this box. I did not, let's see, I don't think I'm using repo here. Yeah, I'm still using my permanent here, so probably won't make any changes to this, but I'm hoping I can find like a dinosaur sticker or something that I could throw on. So there we go with that. And then I do think I jumped around. I went from layout 7 to layout 10 because I like the colors of this one better with the pictures that were next. And I have plenty of room to journal here, or I may find something else. I haven't found my memorabilia for this trip, so I'm hoping I have a park map or I don't even know what I might have gotten. So I'm hoping I find some other things that I can also throw in and incorporate or use those extra layouts for. And then here we also skipped around a little. I think I went to, well, this is 11. And I had these two pieces. I'm not sure yet if I'll want to journal just right here or if I want to add these in or cut them and add them. So I'm just kind of keeping them with it. And then we have one more layout like that to finish off the show. It really was quite good. The movie itself, I'm not a big fan, but the show was pretty good with all the special effects, and you could feel the heat, you could see and smell the smoke, and they were just doing a lot of cool water tricks. So that was fun. All right. And then I have the last ride of the day. I do need to add journaling in, and so I have this space here, and maybe I will end up using one of these to kind of pull in. You know, I could add this, cut this in half or cut it a little bit because the yellow falls in nice, and I could use that to journal on. Actually, I think I'm going to leave that there because I think that is a great idea. It just came to me. And then I'll put this one back. Where did I have that? There we go. And I can use that there. So then we have this. And then we have my miscellaneous picture. Oh, nope, this is still part of the ride. And so I can still journal some more, throw in some things. Also, I did keep a few of the other little pieces that I trimmed off so that I could incorporate them into different areas as well. And then do not forget about the ride-on sticks, ride-on strips. It comes with two different sizes, white, ivory, and black. And then you get 6 by 1/4 inch and 6 by 1/2 inch, or 6 inches by 1/2 inch, and then the other side is 1/4 inch, so they're a little bit thinner. These are amazing, and I just journal what I need to journal, and then I pull them out and cut this section that I need. So I have these little pieces here, but they are perfect for adding titles or throwing something down in the corner, as are some of our other sticker sets that have words already pre-made, pre-printed, are fun things to add if you get the right category. So, okay. Now my miscellaneous pictures that I just still had kept, you know, I had kept that pile up here. So we were able to incorporate a few more of them, which was fun. And then my last page, so I end my album on the left, and this will all go into my Green Jubilee, I believe is what it's called, that already has, Green Jubilee. So it already has the top loading sleeves in there. I'll be able to open this up, and as I journal, I can put everything right in. And like I said, the staples all line up, so it's pretty awesome. So there you have it. What an album adventure we went on. And I'm just excited to say that I'm almost done with my album. Woohoo! So I do need to journal and do my embellishments, and then I will be able to slide things in and call it good. But I felt awesome. So this was really fun. I hope you learned a tip or two. I hope you had fun watching, and I really hope that you are inspired to give one of the album kits a try. And you can use the coordinating collection because all of our album kits have coordinating designer papers and colored cardstock, or whoops, there it is, matte packs, additional stickers, additional embellishments. And so some of those pages I showed you that I had done separately, like with the cascading peekaboos, that's done. I used the collection to add those pages because I wasn't sure if that I would have extra from the layout kits. So I think it worked out splendidly. Now you can always add more. This is just going to be probably a little, it should all fit in the top loaders that are in my album, and then I've got the sleeves that I've added. So this will all fit in one book, and I don't think it'll take me but a couple hours to sit down and just finish the rest. So if we say 6 hours to complete this stuff, plus 2 hours to journal. In 8 hours, I completed this album with over 250 pictures in it. Now, I did show you the pile that I took out, so maybe it wasn't 250 that ended up in the book, but that's what I started with. But there are a lot of photos, and I could go through and count all the pictures because with my sleeves, I used a lot. Anyway, all right. Thank you so much for joining Scrap and Fun with Beth. Again, I hope you had a great time and enjoyed this album adventure with me. Stay tuned. I have more album adventures on the horizon, and I look forward to sharing them with you. Have a great day.